Hey guys, so I just realized that I left my little tripod at school when I came home from spring break, so I have my camera propped up on stuff. I hope that this works. I'm not actually sure how good it is height-wise. I think it might be kind of low, but we're just gonna work with it. This video is going to be about my favorite songs that I have ever seen performed live. Not so much that these are my favorite songs that have been performed, but that actually, like, seeing them performed was special to me in some way. And a lot of these are probably going to be concerts that I talked about before, but we're going to start with number 6 and work down to number 1. Number 6, and this originally was number 5, and then I thought about this and I could not add it. So number 6 is Wings by Little Mix, and I'm definitely adding this on because Wings is probably my favorite song for, if we're going to add in, like, nostalgic outside of the song reasons for being a favorite song. There are a lot of that. It just has to do with when that song came out and what I was going through when it came out and how it kind of helped with that. And so when I saw Little Mix last summer and they started singing Wings, and I was just like, the next thing I knew there were tears in my eyes, because it was just like, hearing it actually performed live was a huge deal for me, because it's definitely my favorite song ever since it came out. Even so, it's been like more than a year now, a year and a half, and just getting to hear it was huge for me. So that's number 6. Number 5, half of this list is going to be Wizard Rock. Number 5 is When the Lights Go Out by the Whomping Willows, which I heard performed live at LeakyCon 2011, and it was just an amazing experience because when he went off stage, like, we kept singing it, and just the entire audience was still singing that song, and it was just an absolutely incredible experience hearing that. I don't even know how long it went on for when we, like, kept singing it, but it was just awesome, I think, how we did that, and that was just an awesome experience, which I've said like 50 million times, but it's true, it was. Number 4 is End of an Era by Oliver Boyd and the Remembralls. Oliver Boyd and the Remembralls is probably my favorite Wizard Rock band. There are some close ties, but they probably win. And I don't think I need to say why End of an Era is like the Oliver Boyd the Remembralls song for me. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it has like a lot of significance in a lot of ways, and I just remember hearing it performed and just getting, I mean, as far as songs go, that is probably like a big song for me. Like, it's just really, like, every time I hear it I have to kind of stop and think about everything and like the past with it and whatnot, and hearing it performed live was just an awesome moment. And it was great because it wasn't like a concert, it was just, he was sitting on stage with his guitar and we were just like sitting there listening to him play, and it was an incredible performance, like all of the songs, but that one in particular just because it was End of an Era. Number 3 is Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran. This is another one where I kind of wanted to choose like the entire concert, like with Oliver Boyd and the Remembralls, but I'm choosing Give Me Love because that's my favorite Ed Sheeran song. And like I said, that whole entire concert, like, if there's one concert that you go to in your entire life, it should be Ed Sheeran, because him performing is just one of the most incredible things I've ever seen and heard in my life. But that is my favorite Ed Sheeran song, so I'm choosing that one for this list. Okay, number 2 requires some explanation. It's What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction. Now, okay, What Makes You Beautiful is not my favorite One Direction song by any means. I don't necessarily have like a least favorite One Direction song, and it wouldn't be my least favorite one because I know what my least favorite one is, but it's not my favorite. It's nowhere even near my favorite, but the reason why I'm choosing that One Direction song for this is because it was the first One Direction song that I heard, and I just like that makes it special to me, just because I'm pretty sure I've told the story of how I became a One Direction fan at first, but I had heard about them all of the time on Twitter, and so I knew who they were. Like, I knew that One Direction was a boy band, and that was basically it. And honestly, I was kind of not against One Direction, but not very amused. I didn't really think much of them, even though I hadn't heard any of their music. And then I was at work one day and the radio was on and I heard What Makes You Beautiful, and I didn't know who was singing it. And so like there was this whole long moment where I was like, this isn't that bad of a song, but I can't figure out who this is. And then I had this realization that it was a bunch of guys singing, so it was probably a boy band, and the only boy band that could come to my mind was One Direction. And so I had this moment where I realized that this was One Direction, and I actually liked the song, and I hated myself because I didn't want to like it because it was One Direction. And then fast forward, it's been more than 2 years. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years of me being a One Direction fan, so it's significant for me for that reason. And the entire One Direction concert was kind of like that. If I didn't choose What Makes You Beautiful, I'd probably choose Up All Night, because that's my favorite song off the first album, and it was also the opening song of their tour, not the first, and so it was the first song that I actually heard performed live. But I'm still gonna go with What Makes You Beautiful, which, for those of you who don't know, was the encore of the, I can't remember, Take Me Home tour is what it was. It was the encore of the Take Me Home tour. So it was the last song of the concert, but it's the song that made them famous. It's the first song of theirs that I heard, and so it was like really special hearing that performed live just because of that reason. So that is number 2. And now my number 1 favorite song that I ever heard performed live, we're going back to Wizard Rock. I think if you're at all into Wizard Rock or a Harry Potter fan, then this kind of seems like an obvious choice, but it's The Weapon by Harry and the Potters, which is probably like the Wizard Rock song almost, and it's just really, really special in a lot of ways. And that's what, before LeakyCon 2011, which is the only Wizard Rock that I've ever actually like gotten to see performed live, I was so excited to hear The Weapon performed, just because I feel like it's not an experience that every Harry Potter fan has to have, but it's like a huge experience, and I was so excited for it. And it's just getting in the circle with everyone. I ended up on like the inner edge of the circle when we made it, and running in together. They're like at the end of the song, we ended up in a group hug, like the entire room. That was definitely a big experience for me. And Ivana Lynch was there on stage, and just, I can't even describe what that was like. I mean, I know I have a video on this channel of that, but I can't put into words what it felt like to be there and go through that, and it was just an amazing experience. So that definitely wins number 1, but that is my top 6 favorite songs that I ever saw performed live. If you want, you can let me know in the comments what your favorite songs that you've heard performed live are, and I will see you guys later. Bye.